What's up, guys?
Hey.
My name is Terrence, and this is my beautiful wife, Gabrielle, and we are the Egglestons. And we wanted to make a video about some couch time discussion to answer some questions that you all had sent in to us about how our first year of marriage was overall, right?
We just celebrated 1 year on July 7th, so it's like been a year and a month now.
Year and some change. Collectively, we've been together for about 5 years total.
Yes.
Engaged 1 year, married a little bit over 1 year as well now. So these questions should be good.
Yeah.
All right, let's start. Let's go ahead and jump in.
Okay.
All right. So the first question is, what's the pettiest argument we've been in the last year? I'll let you start this one off.
I would say the most petty arguments have been over food, okay? I don't play when it comes to my food. Now, I know marriage is all about like oneness, what's yours is mine, all that stuff. But there are certain things, okay, that are mine. So I feel like it was a hot Cheeto incident, and hot Cheetos is like my favorite guilty pleasure snack, especially when it's that time of the month. Ladies, y'all know when it's that time of the month, there's just those certain things that you want. And for me, it's hot Cheetos. And he knew that. And so I had come home from work. It was a Friday. I was excited. Okay, about to watch a show on Netflix, to eat my hot Cheetos, relax after a long week of work. And I go into the cabinet, and my hot Cheetos are gone.
Yeah, them things are good too, boy.
And I was mad.
I think that I didn't realize how big and how important food is for her, and it's more important than a lot of things, surprisingly. So, the biggest or the pettiest argument we have been in from my perspective was the hamburger incident.
Food, I'm telling you,
food, man,
it's a
food.
little touchy.
A lot of touchy. So basically, we cooked some burgers one day, and there was one left over, so we put it in the fridge. So, we put it in the fridge for somebody to eat it whenever they got hungry. I guess she just made the assumption that it belonged to her. So I came up from work one day, and I was hungry, and I was just like, man, this burger look pretty good, boy. So I took it out, you know what I'm saying, put all the works on it, some spices, added some more stuff to it, pepper jack cheese, boy. Warmed it up, and scrumdelicious. You know what I'm saying, that junk. No, it was good. It was really good. So, but she thought it was her burger, although she never voiced that it was her burger. I literally heard about it for the next 4 days straight.
Oh my God.
And it was a day thing. Like, she just did not get over it. It was really bad. I'm just like, okay, I'll make you another burger. That's not the point, Terrence. It's the concept.
It's the principle.
It's
of
the principle.
matter.
I'll make you another one. I'll go buy you a cow. You want a cow? I'll get you a cow. It's not. I don't worry about that. This was my burger. That was probably the pettiest argument we've been in to date so far. Was food related.
Food argument.
Yeah. Go ahead with the next one.
It goes down. So how is it different getting through conflict in marriage compared to when we were boyfriend and girlfriend?
For me, I would say, so when you're dating, we didn't live together when we were dating. So that was probably for the better. But I guess the biggest thing was we were able to, if we ever had an argument or a disagreement, we were able to give each other space. I'm going to go chill on my side of town, until I cool off. She's going to chill on her side of town. I was living with my parents, and she was living with her parents before we got married. Really, majority of the time we were dating, I would say. And, well, maybe not majority, because throughout college and whatnot, but toward the latter end. But we were in different cities, and we were able to give each other space when we needed to. We didn't live together. There was no pandemic. We were just able to give each other space if we just, butted heads for whatever reason. And I would also add to that, we were also kind of still in our early stages of learning each other. So the adjustment, it did take time to learn about all that she is all about and to learn what I'm all about. It took years. It's not just an overnight thing. But we were still learning each other for the most part. And, when you're in that puppy dog phase, still learning each other, You know, something may irk your nerves, but they're still cute. So you're gonna look over it a little bit. You know, they're still attractive. You're still in that puppy dog phase. But the space, and also we were just still, you know, continuing to learn each other, I would say.
And also I would say, like, it's different because when you're dating, because we didn't live together, which was a decision for us to really set that boundary. We wanted to honor God do our best to honor God.
Our best.
Didn't do the best all the time, but with that decision, it was just the best thing for us in living out or trying to honor God in the dating stages in the engagement season. But it was also like, we didn't have to depend on each other as much when we were dating. So, for example, like in marriage, like, you gotta talk stuff out. You gotta work stuff out because life goes on and you depend on one another to go about your daily lives. And so it's just like, there have been times when we have had arguments and it's like, dang, but we gotta go grocery shopping. And one thing that we do is like, we go shopping together. We make our list together. That's one of the things that we do together. So when we're at odds with each other, like, it hinders or it keeps us from doing stuff that we just have to adult and do. So you really gotta work things out. Like, when you try to, of course, taking that time and space is still possible when you're married, but like, that person gonna be there.
You're at the crib.
And you gotta see their face and
At the crib.
we might get in arguments and like, he's just chilling on the couch, living his best life, watching TV.
Eating a burger.
And I just may like walk by and be like, he looked too happy over there, and I'm just sitting there festering. And so you just have to talk stuff out and work stuff out because you depend on one another a lot more in marriage. And
at least in our situation, we did.
Yeah.
You know, most people or the other people may, you know, dating, living together, and whatnot. But in our specific, I guess, process, we depended on each other a lot more after we got married. So, Third question: what have we learned throughout marriage this past year? That is honestly like a loaded question. But I narrowed it down to my answer. I'll let you go first since I went first last time.
Okay. I said I learned so much. I think one of the biggest things that I learned was that I'm not very Christ-like. Like, I thought I was living like Jesus, being a Christian. Oh, I love Jesus so much. But when you get married and your partner be pushing your buttons like no other person can push your buttons, you realize, like, dang, I got issues. And so I think that was one of the biggest things, is just like really recognizing a lot of the baggage and the trauma that we brought into our marriage, and really having to work through that. And I am really grateful for Holy Spirit for just continuing to work in me and continuing to work through me, because, you know, marriage is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. We do have a lot of fun.
We do.
But it is also really challenging too, and that person has access to you, to your emotions, and can affect you like really no other person can. And so I just learned, like, okay, we really have to work through the deeper issues. So that looked like me going to therapy, us getting involved in some godly community. We've gone through marriage classes to really help us to bring our issues to light and work through them, versus just refusing to change. Like, 'cause that wasn't going to help.
No. Yeah, we did a lot of marital investing in ourselves, so that took time, but it really, it's paying off. It's still paying off very well. For myself, I would say that the biggest thing I've learned within marriage first year is learning how to differentiate being a great husband and being a great husband to Gab. You know, because I can the world standards, cultures standards, you know. I do prayer walks. I read my Bible. You know, I pray with her in the morning times. You know, I'm faithful. I've never cheated or stepped out of our relationship, not just marriage. And the world can be like, oh, that's a great husband. Those are great husband traits. But if I'm meeting all those standards and I'm not meeting her specific needs, I'm just a great husband to people, not her, you know. So I learned how to. I'm learning how to differentiate between specifically being a great husband to her, which is meeting her specific needs. Being there when she needs me there and when she wants me there, and I guess that's the biggest thing I would say, because most people don't really get that. I have to really cater myself to her if I want to be a stand-up, great, outstanding, phenomenal, over-the-top husband. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my goodness.
But if it's just if I'm just measuring up to my personal standards on what a great husband is, that kind of coincides with the world's perspective. At least that's how I thought going into marriage. And we learned the hard way what our needs are, how you can best express love to me, how I best receive it, vice versa. And so, learning to be specifically a great husband to her, to my wife.
And that was a conversation too, and it's one that should be had like continuously, continuously check in every few months with each other about like, hey, what are some things that I can be doing specifically to love you better, and vice versa, because it's not just him being a great husband to me, but I have to figure out how, I can be a great wife to him. And sometimes, I may think, he'll say like, oh, sometimes I'm shooting these arrows. I could be like, oh, I'm cooking for you. Oh, I'm cleaning for you. But if that's not his target, then it's not doing anything for him. And so it takes a lot of communication with each other to say, hey, here are some 1 or 2 practical things that you can do to make me feel really loved. And having that, and then I'm not wondering, or I'm not just shooting out all these arrows that are missing the target.
It was funny because I've actually, we talked about that phrase specifically, like you're shooting a bunch of arrows but you're not hitting the target. Like you're putting in so much effort and it's going nowhere, for me at least. And so that one conversation led to a lot of different learning moving forward. To add to that as well, I would say, no matter how much you may prepare for marriage, it's something you really won't understand until you get in it. I mean, it's, at least in our process, we chose not to live together beforehand. And so obviously we get married and now we're living together, learning each other all the more, even deeper. But we read books, we went to conferences, marital conferences. What else? We went to premarital counseling twice.
Right.
And then we got into marriage and we're just like, why ain't no one tell me she was like this?
It's still hard.
Why ain't no one tell her I was like this, and so, or this was challenging or this was difficult. You really won't understand it until you actually are in that marriage, shoe, and can walk around in it with someone who is, growing and learning with you. So that was another big thing. Like, don't expect it to be a cakewalk, if you're not married yet. So
yeah, I will say honestly, for some people, like the same issues and challenges that we may have, some people's issues and challenges may look different, and that's okay. Like some people may be out there and just be like, oh, the first year of marriage was wonderful and all that, and we thank God for that.
Yeah.
But that's just not our narrative. Wasn't our journey, and we're equally grateful for that too, because I think even the point of us doing this is for helping people to see like, you're not alone. And I think a lot of people can sometimes think that like, dang, I'm the only one that's struggling to submit to my husband, or especially with me being such a strong alpha woman, and oh my goodness. So just know that however the state of your marriage is, like you're not alone, and there are people out there who are having similar issues as you. But work through it. Make the choice. Like we often look, sometimes daily, sometimes moment by moment. Make that choice. Like, okay, I'm going to do whatever I can to make this marriage work.
Yep.
I love him.
Because she loved me. I love her too. Give me a kiss. Fine self.